after so much pressure from Kenyans to ensure that Gava cancel ile deal ya ADANI Group na JKIA until President William Ruto cancel your deal. Now Bloomberg is reporting that the Kenyan government has awarded China's Beijing Urban Construction Group tender ya 375 billion Kenyan shillings to upgrade and modernize Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And what we know so far is the fact that Gava walisema ati wali review of story yote, waka come up with the master plan, waka float you tender in March 2026, and now they've settled on China's Beijing Urban Construction Group. We don't know much details about this particular deal, and we're hoping it's not that rubbish. Ile rubbish tuliona na pale ADANI wanapatia 30-year contract after hiyo nini man. I think just rubbish. Ini kitu tuta investigate tujue exactly kama ni the same nonsense, kama walienda huko tu wakatafuta kampuni nyingine China huko wakajifanya is this company in China huko blah blah blah, alafu tu ADANI rudi through other proxies, but we're going to investigate and find out kama ni the same rubbish walifanya. By the way, make it make sense. Gava, you know, they always find a way to just do their own rubbish, but we're going to investigate. And
ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning of the year 2026, we received a government report informing us that the Kenya Airways KQ had incurred losses worth 16 billion for the year 2025 alone. A report that was highly disputed by Kenyans, knowing that back in the year 2024, the William Ruto's administration had reported that for the first time KQ had reported profits worth 5 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, putting that aside, President Ruto in the beginning of the year 2025, President William Ruto announced the cancellation of the controversial ADANI deals with the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Kentraco Electricity Company. After the 30-year deal cancellation, the state informed the public that it would move forward to seek a new company or a new investor for the deal of the modernization of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where Ruto himself promised the public that the tendering process would be publicly advertised and public participation would be paramount in the process to determine which company takes the deal of modernization of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. But ladies and gentlemen, information reaching us this evening says otherwise. This government is a government that has been blamed several times for operating in the shadows. And it seems that the shadows have been befitting the William Ruto's administration so well that this administration is not ready to involve the public in any dealings that they offer to international companies or private investors. According to information reaching us this evening, the government of Kenya today is said to have awarded China Communication Construction Company the 375.4 billion shillings, which is equal to $2.9 billion contract for the upgrade and the expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport under the newly established National Infrastructure Fund, NIF. The award of the tender to the Chinese state-owned firm comes smooth after President William Ruto announced the construction works would begin in June 2026, following the government's receipt of seed capital for the National Infrastructure Fund from the privatization of the Kenya Pipeline Company, KPC. According to reports from Bloomberg today, the deal marks a return to large-scale infrastructure financing involving Chinese contractors in Kenya after the cancellation of the previous concession agreement with EDN's ADANI Group of company 2 years ago. The expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport will follow a 20-year master plan running through to 2045, which provides for phased infrastructure development, capital expenditure, planning, and financial feasibility projection. Sources familiar with the matter told the Bloomberg that the contract was awarded to China Communication Construction Company, although the government has not made the deal formal nor public. In March this year, President Ruto stated that the government would use 20 billion from the proceeds of the KPC sale as seed funding for the expansion of the 68-year-old JKIA of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. However, it was not immediately clear how the government would finance or bridge the remaining balance of over 355 billion required for the project, and now it is clear that they have brought in the Chinese company. This company is one of the most controversial companies that we are dealing with the government of President William Ruto. Chinese firms have maintained a significant presence in Kenya's infrastructure sector, participating in major projects such as the Nairobi Expressway, works on the Rironi-Mau Summit Highway, the Standard Gauge Railway, and other large-scale developments. According to earlier government disclosures, the expansion will be implemented in two phases aimed at increasing capacity and modernizing facilities and improving the overall passenger experience. Phase 1, as they say, will be focusing on upgrading existing airport infrastructure, including taxiways, terminal processing areas, large-side access, and digital systems. These improvements are expected to raise JKIA's capacity to 12 million passengers annually within 18 months. Phase 2 will involve major expansion works, including the construction of a new 4,500-meter parallel runway and a 230,000 square meter passenger terminal designed to handle an additional 10 million passengers annually. Now, the new terminal will feature a modern X-shaped design intended to improve passenger circulation and enhance efficiency. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what about the whole details in regards to how they are going to do the modernization of JKIA? Let's speak about this company that has been awarded this tender. And let's speak about the secrecy behind the deal. Because tell me why the government of Kenya goes ahead to award a Chinese company 375,000 billion deal and does not actually involve the public in determining whether this is good for the public or it's not. Because we don't disagree that JKIA needs modernization. We don't disagree that Jomo Kenyatta International Airport needs to be modernized and it needs some work. But above all, you cannot make a deal on behalf of the country with the opaqueness that this deal has come with. Because allow me to remind you, the said company mentioned that has been awarded the 375 billion is a company that has been working with President William Ruto in so many deals privately on behalf of the Republic. I mean, from the Standard Gauge Railway, the SGR, to the Mau Rironi Summit, to the Nairobi Expressway, to the expansion of also the Mombasa port. Tell me, why is it that only one single company is running all these projects? Remember, about a month ago, GACHAGUA made a damning allegation against this Chinese company that President William Ruto has been secretly dealing with. GACHAGUA alleged that Ruto cancelled a 160 billion deal for the Rironi-Mau Summit road initially awarded to a consortium of French firms. The contract was reportedly handed to the state-owned China Road and Bridge Corporation (CRBC) at an inflated cost of 200 billion. Gachagua claimed this inflation created room for a massive 50 billion pocketing scheme and alleged that Ruto demanded an upfront cash bribe of 17 billion from CRBC company, the China Road Bridge Corporation company, before the contract would be awarded. Gachagua also claimed Ruto interfered with the British-funded railway city project. He alleged that a Chinese firm had originally secured the tender for 22 billion, but Ruto had then deported to award the contract to another company offering a higher bidder of 29 billion Kenyan shillings. Gachagua claims this reshuffle was intentionally orchestrated to facilitate a secret 7 billion commission meant to support Ruto's political campaigns. In a separate development, the government also moved forward with local bridge infrastructure. A Chinese firm, China Wuyi Company Limited, was awarded a 7.5 billion contract to realign the needy bridge, fulfilling a campaign promise by Ruto to address the notoriously dangerous black spot. Now, it is not that Rigathi Gachagua was a madman. It is not that Rigathi Gachagua did not know what he was talking about. He is a man that knows what he was talking about. Because tell me why. This Chinese company is the company that is running all the major projects in the Republic of Kenya. Yet we say, as a republic, that the processes of awarding these tenders should be highly competitive. But tell me why a company called CRBC, a Chinese company, is the only company that has been winning these tenders all over the country since the exit of ADANI group of companies. Because remember, ADANI was brought to Kenya for the purpose of modernizing JKIA, for the purpose of Dentraco, for a deal with the health sector, the chief deal. ADANI was there. Now, when ADANI was exposed by the United States FBI for corruption dealings in the United States, William Ruto was forced to kick ADANI out of Kenya. But after kicking ADANI out of Kenya, he now created another ADANI with this Chinese company. Because ADANI was supposed to do so many projects in Kenya awarded to him by the government of the President William Ruto. But now after ADANI's exit, a vacuum was left. William Ruto needed another company, that company that would be willing to part with bribes so that they can be given deals from the government. Let me ask you, you hear that this JKIA deal has been awarded to a Chinese company that bidded to construct the company, to improve JKIA for 375 billion Kenyan shillings. But I dare tell you that there are other companies that were involved and they actually offered or actually bidded their tender for the purpose of the expansion of JKIA. Those companies, I dare tell you, they bidded lesser amount of money, even less with about 100 billion, but they did not get the deal. The one who got the deal is this Chinese company. And this is what you must understand. Tendering process it should be a process that is highly competitive. Whoever brings the lowest bid if your company brings the lowest bid, it is the company that is supposed to win the tender, because this bid that you have brought, let's say a company bidded 200 billion in the case of this JKIA expansion deal, and a China company bidded 375 billion, which means the Chinese would want a 175 billion more to modernize JKIA compared to the company that just wanted 200 billion. But William Ruto, instead of going for the better deal for Kenya, he goes for the deal that is better for him and his pocket. Now William Ruto needs money than ever to raise capital for the purpose of campaigning and buying out is win for the 2027 general election. Remember, different international money lenders like IMF and World Bank, who have been the cash cow for William Ruto in the last 3 years that he has been in power. Recently, they said that they are not going to issue any loans to Kenya because they stated that they did an audit and realized that the loans that had been taken earlier did not actually do the work that they were intended to do. So that is why Kenya is not going to get more loans from IMF and World Bank. And so, with that money generating avenue closed, William Ruto needs other avenues to generate money. And what best avenue than to find a company that can be compromised? Come, bid your tender, it is either 400 billion, doesn't matter whoever gives the lowest bid, we are going to give you the tender. But promise me that the excess of the money, from, in comparison to the lowest bid, you are going to give that money to me. And that is why China Bridge is the company that is currently running all the major projects in the country. So tell me why JKIA deal is not being made public until international media are the ones that are actually exposing it. Bloomberg is the media platform it's the media company that actually has blown cover in regards to the JKIA deal with the Chinese company. Remember, I mentioned the company, the Kenya Airways in the beginning of the bid. That Ruto told us KQ this year, the year 2025, it incurred loss worth 16 billion. Yet this same company, the year 2024, it had generated for the first time a profit of 5 billion. Tell me how you come from a profit of 5 billion to a loss of 16 billion. Reason being, William Ruto also wants to privatize KQ. And that is why, remember William Ruto when he left, about 1 or 2 months ago, he left the country for Italy. After finishing his trip to Italy, he made a detour to UAE in Qatar. There he met with the president of Qatar. The purpose of that meeting was for Qatar to get into a deal with Kenya Airways for the purpose of improving or modernizing and pumping money into KQ. So Kenya Airways, it enter into a contract with the UAE company. William Ruto will get kickbacks from that deal. We kickbacks worth the billions of money. Same as the kickbacks that he is getting here out of the deal with this China company. Tazamaji, until when will we be quiet? I would love to hear your take. Leave a comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. And tell me what you think about this Chinese company that has been awarded over 10 development tenders worth trillions of shillings. Leave your comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. Don't you forget to subscribe and make sure that you leave your thought in the comments. Share the video. Let people know what is actually going on. They chased ADANI, but another ADANI has been built through the Chinese company. That's what's up. Subscribe.
Independent institutions charged with this responsibility must up their game, pull up their socks, and match up to the expectations of the people of Kenya. Honorable members, I have stated in the past and now reiterate today that in the face of undisputed evidence or credible information on corruption, I will not hesitate to take decisive action. Accordingly, I now direct, in furtherance of the principles enshrined in Article 10 of the Constitution on transparency and accountability, and based on new information provided by investigative agencies and partner nations that the procuring agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for the JKIA expansion public-private partnership transaction, as well as Let me repeat this for clarity. I have said that because of the information that has been provided to us by partner nations, I have directed agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for JKI expansion public-private partnership transaction, as well as the recently concluded GACHAGUA transmission in public